dive right in. Now, like I mentioned in the very beginning, it makes a lot of sense. Let's start with number one. So number one will be exactly that. If you have an absolutely wonderful SEO campaign and you're ranking, it is absolutely irrelevant if you have a bad product. So you can do all of the CRO, all of the SEO, but if you have a bad product, it does not matter. So my very first tip is make sure that whatever the product is, whatever the service is, make sure that that is mastered first. If you do not have a proper product, do not have a proper service, you can do all of the SEO and all the CRO that you want, you will never sell anything. So that's going to be tip number one. Master your product, master your service first. Now let's just go ahead and move on to number two. So number two for my CRO tips, my conversion rate optimization tips, is going to be depending on the traffic source. Okay, some of you may like Google AdWords. Some of you may like YouTube ads. Some of you might like Facebook ads. It's completely irrelevant. Whatever your traffic source, you need to construct your pages depending on the traffic and the eyes that are coming to the page. What do I mean by this? If you're running cold traffic, you need to answer different questions than you would by, say, Google traffic. If Google traffic, if they're searching for a particular thing, right, exactly your service, they're probably a lot more educated than maybe sending Facebook traffic or whatever the case may be. So my tip number two is going to be, depending on the type of traffic, you need to make different landing pages. You need to really think ahead of who's coming to this page, and one landing page does not fit all. So that is my tip number two. You need to have different landing pages depending on the source of traffic. Now, let's move on to tip number three. So tip number three is this. Tip number three is your images, right? Images, your branding, right? Everything that you convey, okay? Everything needs to be the same. So let's say that you have certain colors within the ads or the banner ads or your site or your page. Everything needs to match up. Your imagery, your videos, your brand, and the color schemes, every piece needs to add up. So my tip number three is going to be everything needs to match. Everything needs to portray and convey the same message. So that's from the wording, from the ad to the landing page. That needs to be the colors from the ad to the landing page, and every step of the way, it all needs to be the same and to match. So let's go ahead and move on to number four. So number four, and I'm trying to get through these so this isn't too long of a video. I want to give you the information as fast as I possibly can. So let's go ahead to number four. So number four, the tip for CRO, conversion rate optimization, is going to be your on-page or your copy. When you're writing your page, okay, or you have your copy, you want to obviously always have your CTAs at the top, right? Call to actions. Call to actions are always going to be at the top, okay? And you also need to have your calls to action all the way through. Now, with that being said, your title is 80%. I did a copy video. You can go ahead and check that out. However, your titles are 80%. Nobody, I'm not going to say anybody, but 80% of the people are only going to read the headlines. So these headlines that you write or your subheaders need to convey your messages because people are going to skim right down. So my tip number four is going to be the copy. You need to write for headlines. Headlines and subheaders are conveying all of your message. That needs to be pretty much everything. The copy, the rest of it is almost irrelevant. So that is my tip number 4. Master the headlines, because most of the people that come to your landing pages are just skimming through. They're looking for certain key pieces. They're looking for brand recognition. They're looking for social proof. But this is going to help you a lot for your CRO, your conversion rate optimization. Write for the headlines. Make bullet points, make everything stand out. This is very, very important. Let's just go ahead and move on to number 5. So number 5 for my CRO tips, my conversion rate optimization tips are going to be this. So number 5 is going to be, remember that the people, the traffic, the customers that are coming to your page are not marketers, okay? The people that are coming to your page are not used to seeing these guarantees, these money-back guarantees, things that stand out like that, that convey trust. I mean, really for CRO, one of the biggest things is bringing across the message of trust. So, number 5, the tip is use money-back guarantees. Use guarantees. Have everything up front and center. Definitely make sure that's on your page. This will increase your conversion rate, even if only by a fraction. It does not matter. So, your number 5 tip is going to be use guarantees. Now let's just go ahead and move on to number 6. So number 6, this should have been number 1. The number 6 tip is very, very important, and a lot of the people that I work with get this wrong. Your facts, your FAQ, you're wasting space. Your FAQ page is not for facts. Your FAQ page is to upsell. Let me explain. When you're writing out your facts, yes, the shipping time, but there should be numerous pieces inserted within the copy, within the facts of reasons why they should buy more. This is your upsell page. This needs to be utilized for the facts and the reasons why buying 2, buying 1 for a gift, upselling to the, say you're running services, going to the middle package or the high package is going to be a better option for the end customer. Your facts page, number 6, is your facts page needs to be facts and reasons why they need to go to the next sale, to the upsell. So that should have been number 1. That is my number 6 tip. Let's move on to number 7. Now, depending on your demographic, who you are targeting, okay? This could vary. Let's make a better circle there. Number 7, I like how this new board I got fixes it. Look at it. It's kind of cool. Fixed it. So number 7, depending on the traffic, depending on the customers you are reaching, if they are above 35, right? Well, we can even say 30. What you must have on your page present and up front needs to be a phone number. Again, this all ties into trust. So you need to have a phone number because it helps with trust. There's a phone number. There's someone they can reach. This is a real business. Trust, trust, trust. Buy from me, buy from me. This will help with your conversion rate optimization, especially if you are trying to sell or trying to pitch to an older audience. So my tip number 7 is have a phone number, a customer service phone number. If you need to rent it, if you want to get an 800 number, whatever the case may be, front and center, top right, bottom of the page, within the facts, everywhere. There's always a live line, even if you don't answer it. But make sure, depending on the age bracket that you are targeting, you need to have a phone number, customer service. This will help with your conversion rate optimization. Now, let's just go ahead and move on to number 8. So my number 8 tip. Okay, my number 8 tip is going to be guarantees or charities. Now, I touched on this money back guarantee and having guarantees, but depending on your niche, okay? Let's say that you are maybe selling, I don't know, bibs or bottles or whatever the case may be. If there is some type of emotional connection, okay? If there's an emotional connection, you will increase your conversion rate, even if it's only by, 0.2, 0.003, even if it's only a little bit. Giving back to a charity and making sure that you actually give back to a cause that the end consumer also believes in, or maybe has a little bit of belief in, will absolutely positively increase your conversion rate optimization. So number 8 is money back guarantees and also charity. If I spelled it wrong, maybe I did. You can leave that in the comments below. So let's just move on to number 9. So my number 9 tip is going to be notifications. Now, this helps for numerous reasons. Notifications from the time of purchase, okay, purchase, to shipment, okay, to going to their door, and it's going to be a give, right? You're giving them notifications, emails, maybe text, every step of the way, because this is going to be a give, and then an ask. What is the ask? Well, not only will this help with conversions and not for this sale, but they will possibly come back because you were with them every step of the way. But this will also help for recommendations, and also the most important, which is the ask, because remember, it's give, ask. The ask is for a review, video review, and subconsciously, they're thinking they were with me every step of the way. I like their brand. They're going to give referrals. So my tip number 9 is going to be notifications and stay with your customer every step of the way. There's automation for this. I'm just giving the tips. Stay with them. Remember, it's a give, ask. Emails, these are touch points. Give them the emails, give them the SMS notifications. Stay with them every step of the way, and then at the very end, give an ask. Whatever the case may be, okay? Whether you want a video recommendation, whether you want a review, it does not matter. So tip number 9, notification. Okay, so let's just go ahead and move on to my last tip. This is very important for conversion rate optimization. And the last tip is this. Number 10, which is also another important one, should have been maybe towards the top, is track. Track. So what I mean by this is there are heat maps. There are lots of softwares out there. I'm not here to give recommendation. I'm here to give you the tips. You need to track everything. Track where the mouses are going. There are heat maps. There are different things that you can do to track your CRO, okay? Your conversion rates, everything that you're doing when we're dealing with CRO has to do with tracking, changing. So what you're going to do is you're going to track, you're going to make a small tweak, and then you're going to track and watch it again. So you come up with an idea, you're like, okay, well, maybe I need to change the button color to bright purple and blinking. Okay, I make the change, I watch the change, and if you see an increase, then you know that you made a good change. There are probably within a website 50 to 100 different points that you are going to track, different pieces. Should I move the call to action to the top? Should I have two? Should I have my table over here? Should I have the phone number here? The email? Are they going to the fax page? There are numerous things that you need to track. Okay, now when you're building your pages, this may be an extra tip. So let's say this is the bonus tip. So you have your page and you are tracking every single thing that is happening to this website. So you will make a change and then you will track again. You will make a change and then you will track again. You'll make a change. You could make numerous changes. Generally, you make one change at a time to see if it affects your conversion rate. If it makes a change, great. And what ends up happening is when you launch a new page or you have all of the changes, this is now your control. This is how you launch your next page, and then you have an ultimate page, and then you make your changes from there. So every time that you launch a new page or a new product or a new service or whatever the case may be, you know all of the controls and all of the optimizations that you have done in the past, and you apply those to your now new control pages. So each time that you do this, you are getting better and better, and over the course of time, over the years, after more pages, more services, more things are launched, you will end up with a higher conversion rate. That's going to wrap up my 10 tips, 11 tips, not sure, for conversion rate optimization. I hope that this helps you. I tried to get through this as fast as I possibly could. If you have any questions regarding search engine optimization, social media marketing, conversion rate optimization, if there's anything that I can help you with, please leave it in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.